Folks, welcome back. Another conversation of interesting financial dynamics in the trading card market to talk about today. Today, we are discussing the whole efficient frontier, the market has it priced in financial concept, okay? So this video was spawned by some interesting long-term patrons asking me questions saying, Rudy, explain why doesn't everybody just sell like on Facebook and MySpace? I don't understand why because it's interesting how it kind of leads us to these next set of videos. Why don't people just avoid paying eBay and TCG player fees and sell directly to each other? Why? So, okay. In Wall Street, there's kind of this whole everything's priced in concept. If the stock is $100 a share, it's probably because the future value of the cash flow, what the market's expecting, the analysts expect the following things to happen. If it pays a 3% dividend, that's all priced in, okay? If you've been in this industry a long time, you've learned that on the surface, some ideas are very good sounding. When it comes to execution, it's a real different ballgame. Real world events versus theory in textbooks are very disconnected. Today's example is if you sell on private MySpace, Silk Road websites and Facebook and Discords and OnlyFans, you don't pay the fees. Now, the people who pitch those ideas have never really done it on a large scale. And they don't understand that when you sell on the side, the people who buy and the buyers who purchase on Facebook and MySpace and Discord and OnlyFans, they don't want to pay eBay prices. They are going to expect the discount from eBay to make them want to engage in the transaction. Therefore, there is no real difference besides you're taking out eBay as the middleman or PayPal as the, dispute protection that they're going to defraud you. If you're selling a $200 box of, I was going to say Carlo of Manor, then everyone's going to be like, no, Rudy, I know he's lying because Carlo of Manor isn't worth $200 a box. It's all collapsed. So if you sell a $200 box of cards on eBay, right? You pay the 10% eBay fees plus 3%. You pay the 13% transaction fees. That's 10% on 200 would be $20 plus another $6. So you're going to pay $26 in fees. So you're going to net around $175 of the $200, not including the $5 to ship it, let's say. Okay. You put that $200 box on Facebook or MySpace or OnlyFans, people aren't going to pay you $200. They're going to say, hey, will you take 170? Will you take 180? Will you take 150? No one's going to say, hey, you know what? I'll give you 2 or 210. I just feel like a nice guy today. People don't do that. There's not much of a difference. The only difference is you're trying to hand work with messages and back and forth, and you deal with a bunch of goofballs and a bunch of Timmies and a bunch of amateurs that are extremely price sensitive. I got to quote Wizards of the Coast, don't engage with the broad. And that's kind of the part of the conversation that's not really discussed with a lot of the public. It's always, you have somebody who says, I'm going to start a business. I love trading cards. I want to sell single cards for $10 a piece. But if I sell a $10 card on eBay, eBay is going to take like $1.25 or something. I'm going to net out of that $10 card, I'm going to get $8.75. Okay, well, if you're selling $10 cards on MySpace instead of $10, they're going to offer you $7, $6, $7, $8 range. And there's no difference. That's the whole point of it. You're better off paying a fee and setting up a store or a website that you can do more volume and more margins on. That's kind of always the joke. I would rather, it was kind of one of those conversations we talked about in the past when it was, what was the set? I think it was Lord of the Rings summer. When the boxes spiked and was 500, and I capped it, and I said, you know what, we're going to cap them at the $3.99 price point, and I'm just going to sell them for 400 capped. And at the time, the box was like $460 plus tax, like $500 on TCG Player. And even then, it was a disaster, oversold. The demand was just through the roof. It was a mess. But instead of selling 500 boxes, at $400 a box, you actually turn a profit for once. I know, right? That's rare in magic nowadays. I would rather sell 1,000 boxes at $300 a box because you make the same amount and you're able to reach a higher net of customers. You can throw the net farther and have more customers. And more people and more customers, and having that, it's a better experience for everybody, and you make the same amount of money. And you do what? A little bit extra work. It's really not that big of a difference. So, I don't know why. I guess on the surface, when you think about some of these topics, they seem like they have easy answers. On the surface, you'd say, oh, okay, well, if I sell on eBay, there's no liquidity, and then I got to pay the fees. But if you sell privately on these social media websites, you got to deal with the crazy, moronic Timmies that are not worth your time. Any professional who's done this a long time, I'm not a professional, anyone who owns a large business or done anything will be the first to tell you they would rather pay the fees than try to hand make each little transaction to make a couple percent more. You're better off being efficient. You see, I think, do not underestimate the value of these platforms that have everything in place with payments, the My eBay, the TCG player, the buyer side, the seller side, the transaction, the shit. Everything has this ecosystem, and there's been millions upon millions of dollars put into building these platforms to make it as fast and efficient as possible. And I think that just doesn't get enough credit with it. And I think it's important for people to realize that, and this goes with everything. Like if you've ever gone to an independent video game store, okay, or an independent comic book store, or an independent LGS selling just anything, Pokemon and Magic, anything, okay? If you've ever gone to these businesses and you've walked and said, oh, what's this card? I didn't see this one with a price on it. What's going to happen? The employee or the manager is going to go in the back and go beep, boop, 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 beep, bing. I don't know why there's always a slot machine handle, but there is. Beep, boop, boop, cha-ching. And they're going to say, oh, this card is on eBay for $100. I'll sell it to you for $90. And you're going to say, oh, cool, that's $10 off. Do you see what I'm saying? But that store owner could have taken the $100 card, put it on eBay for $99, paid the $10 in some fees, and maybe he made a couple extra dollars in credit card fees and a couple dollars shipping label. But overall, the difference is very negligible on businesses that have lots of inventory and lots of items. Okay? And again, you guys can look at the background. Like, you look at a box of like Urza's or something, okay? And you look at something like that. Those boxes at the peak were $5,000, $10,000. And now, good luck even selling one for $5,000. That's just how markets swing. So, if you put it on eBay and you can't sell an Urza's box for $5,000, what is it worth? It's probably worth $3,000 to $4,000. Okay, well, if someone emails me and says, Rudy, that's worth $4,000 on eBay, I'll give you $4,500. It doesn't work that way. Okay? Now, if we're going to set like a box opening or graded cards or, there's other variables, that's different. But overall, the private Craigslist social media transactions are over glamorized. They're over the newbies, the noob sabots, the noobs in the card world or in the collectible world or in the video game world. They have this idea because they haven't been through the gauntlet. They haven't been in the industry for 10, 20 years and done, hundreds of thousands of transactions. It's you can tell very quickly. And I get that. Like a good example is collection buying, okay? Rudy, I'm thinking about expanding my Pokemon business into collection buying. You should. There's a lot of money in it. If you're willing to put time and money and resources and you're really willing to go the distance, there's good opportunity in Pokemon long term for buying large Pokemon. I don't buy any Pokemon single cards. I don't buy Pokemon graded cards. I don't buy Pokemon collections. I only deal in Pokemon sealed booster boxes. ETBs too. But overall, I don't deal in supplemental products because they're just the packaging. Some people like the packaging to be pretty and you have these giant things. It's like they're trying to ship a Lego box. Oh, we need to do another Lego video. It's been like a month, isn't it? There's been some crazy stuff going on in Lego. We got to talk about that. The Bricklink stuff and everything and the creator thing. Anyways, we gotta do a Lego video. And that's, you know, it goes back to what I said in the other videos. I just feel like, I don't want to say like the industry is filled with a lot of just ill-informed Timmies. Like they don't, like everybody acts like they know what's best for everything, but they don't have the experience and data, and truly, like you can tell quickly that they don't really grasp the side effects of some of these theories and things they're saying. Anyways, back to the collection thing. But like the collection buying, okay? It's similar. People say, well, Rudy, I'm going to go, instead of going to a magic event and going up to a vendor and buying, a collection of $10 cards for $10 a piece, I'm going to buy from like a Shady vendor, a backpack vendor. They used to call them backpack dealers back in the day. And, I could get a better deal and I can get 10, 20, 30% off. And it's like, the only other benefit to doing side things with cash, which I don't recommend to anybody, like even for me, like when I have the once every 3 to 6 months monster collection, a family member or something has a 6-figure collection. It's like it's a $150,000 collection, and I say I'll give you $105,000, and they say, oh, I'll take it, Rudy. Even in that, and since it's over 6 figures, I say this is probably something we should do in person. And they're like, oh, cool, yeah, hey, I'll buy them lunch, give them some tacos. But it's one of those situations where even in person, I don't do cash. Ever. Security at both parties. We don't do phone conversations. Everything is in writing through email, paper trail, so you can see the whole log of conversation back and forth. Okay? And some people like to, I only want cash, Rudy, because I don't want taxes and a tax form from PayPal. I'm tired. I don't want any of that stuff. And again, historically, fee-sensitive, price-sensitive individuals, they're very difficult to work with, and you're probably not going to have much success trying to do any deals with those people. Not saying there's no opportunity, but historically, they are tougher to work with. For example, they give you like good history stuff on this stuff. Somebody contacts me and says, Rudy, I've got this $1,000 card. I'm looking for $950. I'm sorry, just sell it on eBay, dude. If it's $1,000, put it on eBay for $1,000, sell it for $1,000. After shipping and fees, you'll net $875. You want a $950. It's close enough. I don't know what you want from me. There's no, even if I reply and say, oh, it's $1,000, I'll give you $650 and the Rudy shipping label. Woo. It's like a meme, right? I gotta say it. And there's, oh my God, it's a scam. I want $950. And I just tell them, hey, put it on eBay. You'll net $875. I'll pay you $675. Or you could just go on eBay and get your $875, put some work, assume the risk of a buyer, and hope it works out. Past that, transactions that are small like that, in one person with like a single card or single box, they tend to not work. The probability that they go through in success is very low. Because usually when they don't have as much, they're very fixated on a set price. And then usually they also follow up with you in another month, 3 months. Well, how about $875? You'll start to kind of see, I was like, dude, I told you 2 months ago, put it on eBay and do your thing. And maybe they did, and the price is too high, or maybe the market shifted downwards on them. Who knows what the reason is? But these are stories. There's millions of stories like this in the card world. And I think people glamorize the LGS and card world way more than what it is. I don't think people fully understand the public and the Timmy empire, the game piece, uneducated morons. I don't think the normal players, collectors, and investors grasp the workload that it is and the amount of sweat and hours and labor you have to put in to dealing with the work like I have to handle every day. Anyone who's actually owned or ran an LGS will be very quick to tell you what's really involved. And that's something else I can tell you in this video. I can tell very quickly who's in the industry. I can tell very, very quickly who's worked in the card world, tried to run a real business or an LGS. I can tell because their mannerisms, the way they talk, the things they say, the things they type, the messages they send are very different. You can tell. It's a very distinctive feel and vibe that, I don't know, we can smell our own kind, right? I can smell the other ones that are in the industry. They have a certain style to them, and they understand the work and risk and the time and the holding costs and the money involved. And that's the point of this video, okay? I wanted to make it just a straight video saying that this whole concept about, like the other video we made a few days ago, about fee evasion and commissions, and that's why it's bad, and how I compared it to other sectors with, Wall Street with the actual different tax rates. I compared it with real estate with commissions, brokers, and realtors. We talk about all these different things, okay? And there is no perfect investment. There's no perfect collectible. Everything has pros and cons that I can pitch to you all is the perfect or the worst thing ever. And I don't believe there is any really number one, and I don't think there's anything that's in last place. And that's been proven time and time again in Magic with Chronicles and Fallen Empires. It's the worst ever. Well, over a 20-year period, is it really the worst ever? Data would speak otherwise. Okay, well, the best ever, Evolving Skies. Rudy, look at it. Okay, well, that is the best, but I mean, technically, in a 10-year time frame, Bitcoin beats that. Okay, well, technically, if you had bought, Apple stock in the 80s for, when it IPO'd, or Google or something, there's so many layers of pros and cons and mindsets you can argue with. I just think it's important for everybody to try to figure out what's best for you all and how we could all have fun with the hobby, still make money, and still have open communication. The communication thing, I guess I'll talk about for a minute, the one in the video. Communication is just one of the most dirty things in modern society. I never ever predicted. One of the things I got really wrong in this world is I thought the future with this what is internet? With America Online and instant messengers and Gmails and Hotmails and GeoCity Rudy websites, I always predicted that the future, news would move really quick because of the internet, which I guess that part's right, but I never predicted how communication would get worse. Like, facts and conversations break down. We don't have good communication anymore. We're in the social media era, but communication is so murky and muddy, and we can't tell what's what. And is that real or is that lying? And all the media, the whole CNN and the Fox News, both sides say things that are right and they say things that are wrong. It's so difficult to tell, which particular topic. It's really? And sometimes you see headlines on YouTube and you're going, really? I mean, really? It's just, I didn't think the future would be this confusing, and communication between people who don't like each other would be this fractured. I think that's one of the biggest risks that we have as a human species moving forward. And it impacts the video game, the electronic, the collectible world, the card world, even in the real estate, the vehicle world with cars and trucks. All these industries are impacted so much because the communication is so bad on pricing, supply chain. Well, I don't know. Maybe there's no trucks left in the world. Oh, well, you got to pay over MSRP. I mean, it's just a really, really weird thing. I don't know, everybody. That's kind of my take on it. I try to make these videos, and I'm not the best at it. And I try to talk to you all like we're hanging out on a Friday night, eating some tacos and waffle fries. And I'm trying to discuss things what go through my mind and the things that I think are problems, the confusion, the issues, the things that don't make sense. And there's a lot of it, and and I know it goes on because I can tell. I get messages from you all and patrons, and I guess don't look at my comment section, remember. And, I can tell it's just so many times I'm like, what is this person talking about? It was one of the reasons, in the last couple of years, every once in a while I'll glance at my comment section on a random video and I'm going like this. Holy hell, are these real people? Are these bots? Beep, boop, boop. Are these actual people that think and drive cars and have real jobs? I hope not. These people, are these real humans? It's kind of just yikes, But then again, there's a lot of problems in the world. And a lot of people have the right to be unhappy and frustrated because there's a lot of shitty things that happen, Now, and again, because of that, since we live in a society that doesn't talk about anything good or positive, I mean, I don't know. I thought about this the other day. I was like, maybe I should shift this YouTube channel and not report on any cards or boxes that go up in value. Like, I thought about this the other day. And I think a patron sent me this message and said, Rudy, you should shift the channel. Because since positive videos and boxes going up, nobody watches. Nobody cares. But if anything tanks, everybody watches. And I was like, maybe I should just shift the whole YouTube channel to just reporting on nothing positive in just every YouTube title. Tell me, this is the end of the video, so I know no one's watching anyways. How would you feel if moving forward, every title of every YouTube video on this channel was the most negative title ever, but didn't really matter, didn't really mean anything. But just moving forward, every title only talks about news, but the titles are only negative, and we only report on prices that go down. And I was like, if I did certain things, I could grow the channel in subscribers. I could probably get more views, but it doesn't represent what's really going on. Like I at this point, I should just make videos about Hasbro endlessly raising prices, how angry everyone's going to boycott Hasbro. Hasbro stock's going to go to zero. And the next 10 Magic sets are going to be like Karlov Manor, and they're all going to go to zero. And everyone's losing money, or I'll take a picture of like a bankrupt store, and like the views will go up. But it's like, is that a way to live your life? Is that a way to make a YouTube channel where you just report on just negative bashing and negative trash every day? See, and that's the problem, because I sit back and I'm like, I don't know if I want to take the next 5-10 years and just make endless videos of negative bashing. Like, how could you live doing that? Like, what a life. Like, are you going to get older and look back and be like, yeah, I spent my whole 30s and 40s talking about the end of the world and bashing as many things as I could. Isn't that weird? Like, what kind of mindset, psychological impact does that have? That's weird. Anyways, thanks for watching today, folks. Kind of a wonky video. As always, I appreciate you all for watching, for whoever's actually watching this video. If you actually watched the end of the video, give me, a hashtag something. I don't even know. Hashtag something. How about that? If you actually put a hashtag with the word something, I'll know you actually watched the end. I think, because according to YouTube, the amount of people who watch these videos, even past halfway point at this point, I think it's like less than 5-10%. I don't even think anyone really, I think there's like down to like 3 people that watch this point. But I think that's just really where it is. I don't think it's going to change. I think we're just wired as humans to seek out drama, and we all just celebrate failure and sadness, right? Isn't that what we do in this world? So it'll be exciting to see how the world continues to trek in a positive way, I guess. Hope you guys learned something. I don't know. Here's a penis, I guess.